welcome to Diaries of a Working Couple. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome to our pilot episode. Woo!
Woohoo!
It's exciting.
It's been one hell of a week. 2 weeks ago, Jamie had a congestion issue. I don't know, sinus infection is probably the official term for it.
Listen, I honestly don't even know what's going on with my respiratory tract right now. It's cool. It's been about 2 weeks and it's going to just keep rolling. Sudafed and cough medicine have been my saving grace right now.
You're just about getting back to normal. You can still hear a little bit of nasaliness, but pretty close.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, and this week for school for me has been terrible as well. Just a lot of homework and crap I don't want to deal with, besides work and everything.
Gotta love school. I'm telling you, everyone misses those projects.
It's just a lot of work, after work to do that I don't want to do. So, we're just going to sit here and have a drink and chat and not think about work or school.
But on the plus side, this is the last class.
Yes, I do graduate in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and that's pretty exciting. Can't wait to never go to school ever again.
Ever.
Absolutely not. I'm never going to get a degree higher than a master's degree because, one, it would not help my career at all. And then also, that's a lot of work that I don't want to do.
Yeah. That's fair. I definitely don't miss any of those group projects. But it is what it is. I'm excited because after this, we think we're going to order some sushi.
Yeah. I'm probably like mid-recording. I will order up some sushi.
Throw an order in.
Do you have any idea what you want?
Probably some sushi.
Yeah, but like what kind?
My go-to is like a rainbow roll. I feel like it's so basic, but it's so good.
Yeah. I go with that caterpillar roll, which, that's probably not like standard across all sushi places. So like, I think it's like spicy tuna and avocado on top with some...
With like a spicy sauce of some
Yeah, spicy
sort.
mayo on top. That shit slaps. And then, the classic salmon avocado as well.
See, I'm just not here for the salmon avocado. Like, it's not bad, but it's not my go-to.
I love it. That's like one of my favorite rolls. That's like my go-to basic roll.
I feel like that's just your go-to fish in general, salmon.
I mess with the tuna, but it's always spicy.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is just terrible because of my acid reflux.
Oh my gosh. That is true, and that drink is not helping either. I can almost guarantee that.
We'll get into my medical issues sometime later on.
Yeah, but probably for today, we'll just talk about how we met, because that is a story and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Jamie and I met online.
Yeah, we met online dating, and we met on 2 different online dating sites, which, in my personal opinion, is the universe saying that it's fate. And
I would say 2 online dating apps. Sites makes it sound like, we're hitandmatch.com or something, which,
fair.
We weren't at that level yet.
No.
But
we didn't hit that point of desperation.
We've definitely had a lot of online dating horror stories as well.
Oh, yeah. But
we'll save that for another episode, just all
time.
On its own.
Yeah. But yeah, I know for me, I was in pharmacy school, and I really had to work myself up into even just trying out online dating, because being like growing up and going to school with the same people from kindergarten through 12th grade, and then you go to a super small college, like you didn't really have much choice. And then going out to bars was just never my scene.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I wasn't really jumping onto any other apps except for Tinder initially. I feel like Tinder's like a great like warm up online dating app because like I don't know, like everybody had Tinder.
I feel like dating's a strong word to use for Tinder.
Yeah, so Tinder like has this stigma of like being only for hookups, which it's possibly true, but like we also know people that met on Tinder, um,
And are
like
married.
yeah, that are married now. So I think that there are some connections that are made through
There
that route.
there are success stories, just not ours. Our success story is not a Tinder story.
Yeah, Tinder kind of got me warmed up. Like I don't know, like Tinder. There's no like profile really. Like it's just like a little blurb, and like it just steals like three pictures off your Facebook, or I'm sure you could choose which photos or whatever, but
That's very bold of you to link it to your Facebook. I
I
did
think it
not.
has to be linked to your Facebook. Tinder has to.
Really? I didn't think I did. I think I just chose pictures and put them up.
You had Tinder?
I did.
Oh
Way
boy.
back when. Oh boy is right. I that was a disaster. It was just creeps on creeps on creeps.
Yeah, and something to add to this is like Jamie and I never really talked about any of this stuff with each other before. So like I was surprised there that she said she had Tinder. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more things that I'm surprised about, or she is surprised about, as we go through this. But yeah, I think Tinder was like kind of a warm up because it just didn't require much effort to use it. Most of the conversations were throwaways. Um, Usually I'm not. I don't go with all these cool catchphrases and stuff to get people interested in talking to me. I'm that basic guy who probably just threw out "hey" and then gets left on red.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that a lot. The leaving people on red. That was me. I tried to be nice. I tried like, respond and everything, but if like I just didn't get a good vibe or anything, I'm a ghoster. I'm very much a ghoster when it comes to just knocking off relationships that haven't even started.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned vibes because in my Tinder profile, like when I first started using Tinder, it literally said "good vibes" in it,
Good vibes only.
something
Hashtag.
like that.
Oh my gosh.
And my uncle's girlfriend at the time was looking at me and Barry's Tinder like profiles just to like see what we had on our profiles or whatever. And in front of my parents, she was just like, "Good vibes only." Oh man, you're here just to hook up, aren't you? Like right in front of my parents, and it was super awkward. Um,
Yeah, you really can't recover from that.
yeah, yeah, I changed my profile pretty quickly after that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um, yeah, and I really didn't talk to my parents about online dating either because that doesn't put a good taste in their mouth after they hear that.
I feel like it's so awkward first of all, trying to talk to your parents about dating in general when you're just getting your feet wet. You're not like seeing someone long term. Like, I remember when I was at home for one summer, I was doing the online dating thing. And like, I go out on a date or two, just with whoever I met online. And it was always so weird whenever I came back because my mom, she always sits, waits up, makes sure you get home safe and everything. But it's like, she's like, oh, like, tell me about this guy. And I'm like, I can't, like, it's not going to be worth your time to tell you about this guy because it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. There's I've probably met up with I don't know a handful of people like from online dating apps and like you know I don't think I had any time except for you and one other person where it actually led to like more than like a week of seeing each other or something.
I I think you're the only one that like made it to the point of meeting my friends or like family. You know what I mean? Everything else is
Yeah,
like a 2, 1, anywhere between 1 and 3 dates.
there was a few times where I met somebody's parents like on the first or second date, which is just like so awkward, but there it all happens because of certain situations. Like,
Is
one
that?
of, one of the girls' cars like broke down, and then like, I had to help deal with that, and
Yeah, it's
then her
definitely.
parents got involved too. So, you know, that's definitely pretty awkward. Because they're like, oh, like how long have you known each other? And it's like, well, we talked for about 2 days on a dating app, and then like this is our first time
You're
like
like
hanging
30
out.
minutes. I saw her on the corner and picked her up.
Yeah, seriously. Um, so yeah, yeah, you're the one that's stuck.
Yeah, now you can't get rid of me.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this today because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Oh no.
And I think initially the first thing that like we matched on and messaged each other on was OkCupid.
Was it okay, Cupid?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And I remember that we had a somewhat lengthy conversation. But then I was going to ask you if you remembered why, like, it died on OkCupid. Like, we never met up based on that interaction. Now, eventually, we matched on Coffee Meets Bagel, which is like kind of like Tinder where you have to swipe yes or no, but you only get one a day.
Yeah,
Or at
there.
least that's how I remember it. It might have changed by now.
Yeah, it was. I think it was maybe one or two a day, and it depends like how long you're on the site. Like if you're like brand new to the site, I think they gave you like maybe a couple like choices.
Yeah, I do remember you would get a bonus bagel every once in a while.
Bonus bagel. Oh my gosh, I definitely don't remember bonus bagels, but I also remember that a lot of the guys I found on Coffee Meets Bagel were like super dweeby,
Dweeby.
very dweeby.
Please define.
Like much more the academic type, not the, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it was mostly not my type.
Are you
Like
saying that I'm not an academic type?
I'm saying you're dweeby. And I say that with love.
Ouch. I'm dweeby. What made my dweebiness stick out over the other dweebs?
Well, you did message me and say fancy meeting you here.
I did. And like that's yeah, I don't know why it died on OkCupid.
I don't know either, but then again, if you look at our past, neither of us are very good at texting.
We are not. No. So from the time that we first met, we went on a second date, right? And then we had like
We had two dates because the first one we each went to a different restaurant.
yes, which we'll get into that.
And then we went to Sky Zone for our second date.
That was awesome.
And then we went back and watched the Steelers Eagles game.
Yeah, that was the same day as Sky Zone.
And then I don't think I heard from you, or like we would text like sporadically, but like we did not see each other for at least 6 months.
Yeah, so going back to the gap in between the OkCupid conversation and Coffee Meets Bagel, I don't remember, and I don't have my account anymore because I wish I did, because then I could log in and see what our messages were. But I kind of have a feeling that I was trying to hang out with you, but you were in Maryland.
I would not. Um, that tracks.
And then,
That
like,
tracks
eventually I
because
probably just got tired of asking. And then it just kind of died off after that.
that tracks because our first date was in September, and if I was home for the summer, like between school years,
Yeah,
I would
but
have been
wouldn't
in
you be in
Maryland.
school in September?
Yeah, that was our first date, and I think that's when we matched, like back up, like in August, September-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I was trying to think back to then, and I feel like that was why it died off.
I could definitely see that.
Do you remember anything from my dating profiles that stuck out?
I remember the first picture, I think, at least on one of your profiles, was you standing with some mascot. And your
Oh,
hair was
that's the Drexel mascot.
I thought Drexels were dragons.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a dragon. It looked like a panther. It very well could have been a Drexel mascot. It just didn't look like...
So I have two classic photos that go on my online dating profiles. One was the one with Mario the dragon. Not a panther. He's a dragon. And the second one was probably from like, I don't know, how old were we when we were online dating? Like 22-ish. So like, it was probably from back when I was like 17. But I was literally standing on a big hill with one of those. Like, it's kind of like
the
a
hobby
horse. Kind of like a hobby horse, but it had an elephant head on it. And it was just so majestic that I had to put it on all of my profiles.
I actually think that's hanging on the wall somewhere. Or it was at one point.
Really?
I think so. I think I had it on our apartment wall. In one of those collage frames. I think I have it printed out. I'll have to take a look after this.
Yeah. Anyway, those are like my two classic pictures. So I'm surprised you didn't point out the elephant on top of the hill, because I was pretty proud of that picture.
I think you had one of your pictures is when you're like doing the wheelie on the quad. I don't know if you'd call that a wheelie.
Yes, probably a wheelie on the quad. That sounds very in my zone. I'm a big motorcycle person, and I have a bunch of pictures of me riding ATVs and doing wheelies and stuff.
But it was the one where your like hand is touching the ground, because even to this day, when I look at that picture, I'm like, what is actually going on in this picture? And I have to like really take a step back and be like, oh yes, he's leaning backwards on this like ATV.
Yeah, to fill in the picture there, you pop a nice wheelie, and then, to show off to all your friends and all the women online, right? You pull a hand off the handlebars and you strike it across the ground, So attractive. I know that's what did it for you. I could just tell just by looking at you right here. I could tell you're impressed still, and you want to see me do it now again in my current form.
I don't know if I would like to see you do it now, because knowing you at this point in our lives, you would absolutely get hurt trying to do it.
No way. I could do that in my sleep.
Mm-mm.
Next time we go to Barry's, we pull the warrior out of the shed, and it's going to happen.
All right. All right. I'm going to hold you to it next time we go to Barry's.
Yeah. So anything else stick out on my profile that you can remember?
Not really.
Damn. I guess I had a pretty basic profile then.
What about me? Do you remember anything from mine?
So about you, one, you had a picture of you in your black graduation gown, I think, from college for your undergrad. And I like educated women, so that's one thing that stuck out. Also, I think in a few sections of your profile, but if not in there, there's like a questions section on OkCupid, and like there was a lot of signs that you care about your family a lot. Yeah, so that was another big thing. And I don't know, general looks, I was attracted to you. And yeah, and you were pretty close in vicinity of where I lived at the time, that's kind of convenient as well.
That was helpful.
Yeah, but for some reason you just kept going to Maryland, which was annoying. But thank God we broke that habit.
Again, something about my family being eyed or something.
Yeah.
It's okay. I still go down from time to time. Just not for full summers.
I love going down to Maryland to see your family. I was just messing with you. So yeah, eventually things worked out, right? We made plans off of Coffee Meets Bagel.
Yeah, I swear they kick you off after like a week.
Well, I think we exchanged numbers at that point.
Yeah.
And then that's where we went and made plans. So I think classic me, I left the decision up to you because I am very bad at making decisions on where to go.
And I'm not going to lie, I usually try and make the decision, when I was online dating, I would try and make the decision because I wanted it to be public. I wanted to be able to be on my turf. So, like, I didn't want to go to University City or somewhere where I didn't know where I
Yeah, you didn't
was,
want to feel uncomfortable.
in addition to meeting someone I didn't know. And I also liked being close to where, like, my friends were, so I could let them know, like, hey, this is where we are, just in case something were to happen. Always got to be smart. Always be smart when you're meeting up with people from the internet.
That is very true. And carry mace if it's
Oh my
if
gosh.
it's in a large city with a lot of creepy people out at night.
Yes. But yeah, so I hate making decisions, but I didn't mind making that decision. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go to this. There's this little restaurant near where I am. Being in a major city, I could have sworn that everything was like super niche. I did not think it was like part of a chain or anything. And come to find out later on that there's 2 locations of that same exact restaurant. One was on my college campus and one was on his.
Yeah, and they're only like 6 to 10 streets away from each other. Jefferson, the Drexel is a very short scuttle across the city.
Scuttle.
I don't know. I was trying to think of a creative word.
Scuttle works. I like scuttle.
Works.
Makes me think of a crab. Just like crab walking. It's probably because Scuttle's the name of the seagull in Little Mermaid.
Oh my God, you and
Fun
Disney.
fact.
Jeez.
Anyway,
why don't you get out your VHS player?
it's upstairs, sir. Sir. Not from the peanut gallery. But no, so we finally settled on a date and a time, and I got dressed and ready. I looked cute, and I go to the bar we were going to, sit down and let him know, hey, I'm here. Let me know when you're here.
Now, from my point of view, I saw that we wanted to meet up at this particular bar, and I was like, wow, this is so close to me. This is so convenient. So to show off to the ladies, hop on my motorcycle and take a good old stroll down to the bar. And I'm standing outside of the bar, and it's very visible onto the inside of the restaurant. And I didn't see her. So I called her, and I was just like, hey, I'm outside of the restaurant wearing a blue shirt. Right? A blue shirt?
Yeah, you said it was a blue shirt, and I walked outside of the restaurant, and there was not a single soul standing there in a blue shirt.
Yeah, because you said you already had a table. So I was definitely pretty confused. I didn't know if I was getting catfished. I didn't know what was happening, but it turns out, Jamie talked to a staff member at the bar she was at.
The hostess said that they're like, oh, like we have a second location in University City. And I was like, really? So
yeah, they're on the same street too. It's literally just 5 to 8 blocks away. So me, being that gentleman,
he just wanted to show off.
Just hopped on my bike and cruised down a few more blocks.
How far was it, the restaurant you went to, from your apartment? Like, did you have to ride your motorcycle? Could you have walked there?
I didn't feel comfortable walking anywhere from my house when I lived there. It was in West Philly.
Was that the same place you shared with Jason?
Yeah. And I just didn't, I wouldn't feel comfortable at night walking around that area. But it was a little bit, I guess, north of Chestnut or whatever street
it wasn't
Pub's on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably like 4 blocks down and, probably like 10 blocks. So it was definitely something I would have to take like an Uber or something for.
Okay.
But just generally, like back then in my life too, like I just rode everywhere because it was free. Well, not free, but cheaper than getting an Uber everywhere. I knew I wasn't going to drink a lot. I was just going to have like a beer or two. And like parking is pretty much free with a motorcycle in Philly. You just slide it in between two cars or something. So yeah, that's why I took the motorcycle.
You
But
just
I'm
wanted to
just saying that I was doing it to impress you.
that's all it was. You really just wanted to impress me and every other woman that you passed by.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I saw everybody turning their heads when I was going down the street.
Snapping necks.
Yep. So, yeah, so I finally made it to the restaurant. I remember you were wearing a black dress.
Was I don't remember what I was wearing.
Really? Because I really think that it was a black dress, but now, like, I don't know.
I probably would have worn jeans.
You didn't, though. You wore a dress. I know 100% you wore a dress.
Interesting.
And I want to say it was black.
It may have.
But yeah, you were just sitting by yourself. I think you already had a drink.
I probably did. Probably already had a beer.
And there was not one sitting there for me on the table.
No, I didn't know what you liked.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't expect that anyway. I'm just trying to be a funny guy.
So funny.
Yeah. So I know that we ordered like fries or something. Right?
I think they were like cheese fries.
Yeah, like we didn't have a full meal. It was just like fries, and I had 2 beers for sure. I remember getting a second.
I think I had 2.
I think you had a second, but didn't you tell me that typically you would leave after a beer if you weren't feeling it?
I have a 1 beer rule where if we're not hitting it off, if I feel uncomfortable, if this doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere, anything like that, it's a 1 beer, and then after that I just get water. Because with water, it's like, number 1, you don't feel guilty if you're not drinking the whole amount of like whatever's in the glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know Zach always guilts me. Oh, you're just leaving half your drink behind. And
that's true. I guess like, it looks bad if you're just leaving like half a beer or something.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, when you get water, you don't have to pay for it again. So you're just like, all right, I can skedaddle at any time. And
well, you got the second beer.
I did. I got the second beer.
So that's good. You were feeling it.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't pick up on that vibe. Like I was feeling it towards you. But for some reason, at the end of the night, you walked me back to my motorcycle.
Yeah, because I was waiting for you to make a move.
And I didn't make a move.
You didn't. I asked to see your motorcycle, giving you that extra chance to make a move because you didn't make one outside the restaurant.
And I don't know why. I like, honestly, if I really think back to it, I don't know why I didn't. But I think it worked out in my favor because it had to be... I don't know. I kind of think sometimes that whole concept of like not getting a move made on like the first time like makes you more curious for like the second date or something. I don't know. Yes
and no. Like obviously sometimes if they don't make a move it's like because there was no chemistry. But that one I remember thinking like I thought we connected, like you were super easy to talk to. We really seemed to have a lot in common. And
now we're married.
But at that point in time, I was like, what did I do wrong? Or what did I say?
I really don't remember why either. Man, I wish I could go back in time. See, this is why I think it's good for us to do this. So at least we can put down, on a recording what we do remember. Yeah. Because, God knows when I'm older, I'm probably not going to remember anything. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't make that move.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have it any other way because everything worked out in the end.
It did.
And, if you change one little thing like that in history, who knows what would have happened.
Butterfly effect.
Yep. But, yeah, I don't know why I didn't make that move. But, so everything went well except for the fact that I didn't make a move, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like, looking back, it wasn't like you showed up and I was like, wow, this dude looks nothing like his picture.
I have to say I probably weigh 10 pounds more than my picture.
But it wasn't like a huge difference. Like I have seen huge differences.
My picture with Mario was when I first came to Drexel, and I was definitely a little more fit. I was never really fit. Like, I was
You
healthy.
you were never like ripped.
Yeah, I was never ripped, but I definitely was my lowest weight when I first came to Drexel. But that freshman 15 hit.
See, that's how I mean, hell, when I graduated high school and started college, I was like super tiny. Like almost looked like I didn't eat tiny. But and I mean volleyball helped with that. So,
But, like, your pictures were very accurate to who you were.
yeah, that is true.
Like, I didn't show up to the restaurant and was like, oh, she looks different than her pictures.
You knew who I was when
I
you
knew who
walked
you
in.
were, but, like, also, like, I'm sure if somebody kind of catfishes a little bit, like, you would probably still know that that's the person you're meeting at the restaurant, but you would be like, wow, they kind of look different.
You would hope so.
But,
But
like, I didn't notice anything that, like, I was like, oh, like, this doesn't match up with what you were advertising,
yeah,
you know?
I didn't show up with track marks or 420 stamped on my forehead.
No, or no face tattoos or anything.
Yep. Yep. I didn't have gauges in my ears that brought my earlobes down to my shoulders. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Everything was pretty normal.
Pretty average compared to what my photos looked like.
Yeah. So, after that, how long was it between that and then when we went on our Sky Zone date?
I think it was like maybe a week. Like I feel like it was pretty close. I don't think it was super duper long. But then again, I also do remember you picking me up in your Mini Cooper and you had some part of your gingerbread man costume in the back of your Mini.
Yeah, that costume was awesome.
I just wish I got to see the full thing.
Yeah, so my Mini Cooper, first of all, I'm 6'3" ish, 6'4" ish. So a Mini Cooper is not really sized appropriately for me. Though you would be surprised with how much room there is in the front two seats. I actually found that car very comfortable, but that's besides the point. My gingerbread man costume was awesome. Um I had like 2 or 3 Halloweens with it, and everybody loved it. It was just like a felt costume for like your body, but the head was humongous, and I had to put like a clothes hanger that I bent up to like hold the head up straight so that like the whole costume would look normal. But it was great. Like we went to Temple one Halloween and we rode there on motorcycles, and I rode in my gingerbread man costume,
No
and
helmet?
everybody loved it. I don't know. That's a good question because I probably could fit a helmet under this head because it was so large.
Really?
But I don't remember if I could see if I had a helmet on there. So I don't know. I was pretty dumb as a young Chris. So maybe I had a helmet, maybe I didn't. Wear your helmet if you're riding a motorcycle, please. So yeah, we went to Sky Zone for our second date. I guess I picked you up in the Mini. This is where I saw the commitment to the relationship here. Even though we still had some bumps in the road coming after this, like the Sky Zone date. One, I remember you were wearing a gray shirt and leggings.
Mm-hmm. I remember because I looked. It was just a plain gray V-neck T-shirt with cap sleeves, but I loved that shirt because it looked so good in it.
I was gonna say you looked very good. And then like Sky Zone is a very fun place to have a date at. That was my only date that I've ever brought to Sky Zone, but that was a ton of fun.
For anyone who doesn't know, Sky Zone is an indoor trampoline park, and if you have not been to one, I highly, highly recommend it. It is an absolute blast.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a reckless person, so I like to do a lot of flips and stuff. Even we were 22 or something at the time. Most people grow out of that. Yeah, most people grow out of that. Like when you're hitting your 20s, but I just love flipping around on trampolines.
Still does.
I still if we go to Sky Zone again, I will be flipping around on trampolines. Jamie never has flipped on a trampoline. So I think that when you're at Sky Zone and you're just bouncing around, to me, that seems a little boring.
It's fun. I swear it's fun.
It probably is fun. I just like to flip around. But Jamie wanted to learn how to flip.
Okay, so here's the thing. Growing up, we had a trampoline and we were not allowed to flip. Our mom didn't want us learning how to flip because she was afraid we were going to break our necks or break our backs. And so, like, I've always been terrified of trying to do it and actually breaking my neck or breaking my back. So I've wanted to, but I never had anyone that was, like, able to show me how to or was willing to spot me. Obviously, since my parents wouldn't let me or my brothers learn, why would any of us know how to?
I was not pushing for this either. Like, it's
Okay.
true though. I was not pushing for this because, first of all, you wanted to learn how to backflip. That's
Yeah.
what you originally wanted to learn, and like a backflip, I think is easier, but it's a lot worse if you don't commit. And like, I just, you know, it's not easy to commit to that on the first few tries. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's trained in gymnastics or some other type of flipping activity could teach you, a safe way of learning how to backflip or front flip, but I'm no expert. We were literally just, grip it and rip it. Like, just jump and throw your body and see what happens. So Jamie did try a few front flips and got to the point where she was flipping all the way around and putting her feet down, but she just couldn't catch her body. Her momentum kept throwing her down on her chest once she hit her feet on the ground. But it was pretty wild. She tried a lot of times, a lot more than I expected.
I was able to do it from my knees onto my feet, I think it was. Because I know, like, you're a very good teacher with, like, breaking it down to, like...
I don't feel that way. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing... It's so hard to teach somebody how to do something that you've been doing since you were a kid. Like, we tried to learn how to snowboard this year, and I've been snowboarding since I was probably 12, so it's just so hard for me to teach something that feels so natural to just do.
To be fair, the snowboarding was also difficult because it was, like, straight ice. And I couldn't figure out that you had to, like, really edge your board in no matter what. You can't, it's not like a gliding thing that it seems like.
Yeah, it would definitely be easier to learn if we had a better day or a better mountain. But both the mountain is very small, and so there's not much of a slope. So it's more of a hill. And then also the ice was just terrible. I mean, it was just a whole sheet of ice.
Yeah, the ice was brutal because it was even difficult to, like, just try and stop because I would dig my edge in so hard and it still I would just keep gliding.
I do love that you would always try your opposite edge, even though it would throw you on the ground. Like, that seemed to be... That's like your kryptonite. Like, you were just like...
Okay.
Every time you couldn't stop by putting the right edge in. So you were just like, let me throw this wrong edge in and see what happens. And it just whips you on your back or your chest every time. But you got up every time and just kept trying. But, it shows that you're very persistent.
I don't want to say the wrong edge is my kryptonite. My problem is when you tell me I can't do something or I shouldn't do something or just stop, we'll try again later. It's getting too frustrating for you. That, like, lights a fire in me and just makes me want to try that much harder and do it right then and there.
Oh, I know. If we do an episode on us talking about our hobbies, I mean, I could talk about many a disc golf episodes of just whipping the disc out of anger and getting the best drives of your life.
Yeah, but okay, so that's different. That's because I'm angry. Because I also, like, play volleyball and hit really well when I am pissed. But Besides the point. No, Chris told me when we were at Sky Zone that he was like, you know what, like you might not get it today, and that's okay. And you can't tell me that I'm not going to be able to do something, or you don't think I can do something, because that makes me want to do it even more. So I spent, I think, just about all of our time there trying to do flips.
Jamie is pretty naturally athletic, so like when she would play sports as a child, she would pick them up pretty quickly. And that led to a type of attitude when like trying new sports at an adult age that are not particularly easy to pick up. Like golf, we tried going golfing once, and you're just not, you're not going to hit the ball perfect on the first try.
See, I was literally just about to say golf is like hit or miss for me, and I was like, that is like the worst pun to make about that sport.
Man, golf, like that was an interesting thing because like typically people struggle so much with golf. And you like the first hole that you played was like amazing. And it was your first time ever playing golf, and you had like a drive that was like 150 yards or something. Like, it's not impressive for somebody who plays like very regularly, but for your first time ever hitting a drive off a tee, you hit one like dead straight down the fairway. And then I'm pretty sure your second or third shot was good too. Like, you almost shot par on the hole.
And then it went downhill.
And then it was like the second hole, like you could just not hit the ball.
Literally could not even make contact, or like I would like whiff it off the tee.
But that was the problem. It gave you that sweet, sweet feeling, that chef's kiss of a feeling when you really hit a drive. And then, man, when you were just whiffing, it's not good.
All right, we're gonna get back to Sky Zone and not talk about my frustrating golf experience.
Sorry, I'm drinking Jack and Coke, and then I just kind of go off on tangents. So.
It's okay. I'm here to help keep us on track.
There we go.
But no, so Chris tried to teach me how to flip at Sky Zone. And when I almost landed it, that's when we had our first kiss. The first time you kissed me was at Sky Zone.
Indeed. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that when we were like talking about Sky Zone, but that was our first kiss.
That was our first kiss.
I'm very proud of that kiss too. She was showing a lot of commitment out there on the trampolines. So I had to come back and show her a little bit of commitment there.
Yeah, is that what was going through your mind?
Smooch.
Oh my gosh. We need to get you some water.
I'm fine. I'm just enjoying my time. I'm loosening up here.
But I also do remember like trying to do a flip. It was one of the first times I tried to do it from my feet and I didn't commit, and you had to like try and catch me or like break my fall, because you were like, listen, that's what happens when you don't commit. You almost broke your neck.
Yeah, exactly. The warning that your mom was giving you was if you don't commit.
No, Mom was like, if you try.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do commit a little bit, it gets you around. And that's like another thing about a front flip is like, or a back flip, I guess, is like after you get to the point where you're like halfway through the rotation, like worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to land on your back, you're going to land on your stomach, and you're landing on a trampoline. So it's totally fine. But it's when you don't commit on that initial jump that it puts you right upside down on your neck.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is very scary. I remember trying to catch you or push you or something to make you not fall on your neck.
Yeah. I remember it was just a entangle. I don't even want to say entanglement. It was literally just like, when you're like running in basketball or something, you like accidentally collide with someone that you didn't see coming. That's kind of what it felt like. It was like, because I didn't know what was coming. I was just like, crap.
I'm going to die.
I did not do this right. What was I thinking? And then all of a sudden I'm getting like hit out of nowhere by like arms that are like either trying to catch me or push me or not make me fall on my face.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I probably tried to like sweep your legs around to make you flip or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember this moment that that's a butt clencher for sure.
Well, after all of the butt clenching moments of me trying and failing to flip, we left. And we went and got some Wawa subs.
And we watched the Eagles versus Steelers game.
All right, y'all. So here's the thing. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm not one of those die-hard, bleed black and gold Steelers over everyone. But I like watching the games. You know, I like talk a little trash, but I'm not like super like heavy, hard-hitting into everything. Chris grew up watching the Eagles. That's like,
Welcome to Philly.
and like he like bleeds like, was it midnight green, whatever their color is.
You could just say bleed green.
Yeah, he's very much a huge fan. He's a diehard fan. So he like starts talking trash, and I'm gonna talk a little trash back, but nothing super crazy. It was a huge mistake watching this game with him.
The one time the Eagles perform.
Wasn't that when Carson Wentz was like fresh out the gate?
That's a good point. I don't know. You know, and when Jamie says I'm a diehard fan, like, I love watching the Eagles. I will watch every Eagles game, but I barely pay attention to, like, specific players and stuff like that. So, yeah, trying to think back to then, that was, what year was that?
17?
17? Yeah, maybe
17,
that was Carson
18?
Wentz time. I don't know. All I know is that the Eagles stomped the Steelers.
Oh my gosh, it was literally 31-3 by the end, and that was my contact picture in his phone for God knows how long. Just
Very
this
long time.
picture of the score.
Probably until maybe we got engaged.
Oof.
That was your profile picture.
Oof.
And then I did have to do laundry when you were there.
Yes, I distinctly remember you saying, I have to do laundry, and you put laundry in, and it was on the spin cycle, got all the way through the wash, and you were like, I never put soap in.
See, I was so in love, you know, that I just forgot to put the damn soap in the washer.
You were just infatuated with me
Yeah.
and my horrible choice of football teams on that particular day.
Yeah, I think, like, since that time, though, every time the Steelers and the Eagles have played, I think the Steelers have won.
I don't think it's every time, but I think it's been most times.
Most times when we were together and watching it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there was a few times where we missed it.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that is the story why Chris is not allowed to do laundry in our house. Because I don't want to risk him forgetting the soap.
I did learn that it is a crucial step of doing laundry.
Only if you want clean clothes, though. Like, if y'all are okay with dirty clothes just coming out damp, but still dirty, you do you. But we do like to add soap to our laundry in this household.
So I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for now. I feel like we had a lot of good stuff in there. We definitely had some tangents.
Couple tangents.
Couple tangents, but I'm glad that you kept us to the schedule.
I try. I try to be punctual and plan, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's a good place to wrap it up. I mean, that's kind of where we wrapped up the first part of our relationship before we went on a 6-month hiatus.
That is true.
So,
and you know, maybe we'll talk about that soon. I don't know what the next conversation topic's going to be, but
I don't know.
We will figure it out as we go.
Maybe we'll do what brought us back together.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where life takes us.
Keeping it pretty casual here.
But I think that's all we got. So, thanks for listening. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. See ya.
Bye.